Can you imagine a day, dear Grady, when there won't be any cable TV and there won't be any public access?
No.
I've been poor and I've been rich, but I prefer poor better. Well, I'm going to start with the obvious. Number one, being poor is less commotion. The more money you have, the more you run around frenzied trying to spend it. Being poor makes me closer to God than being rich. The poorer I am, the closer to God I am. Does that make sense? Folks at home and on public access TV, and Grady, I want to tell you about the most wonderful story that was in the New York Times on October 9th, just 2 weeks ago, about a man named Fermi. And he had a duty-free shop overseas, and he would sell duty-free products like cigarettes and beer and things like that. Not that I approve of the products. I wish he sold them better products. But he sold them duty-free to soldiers, to American GIs going home. That man became rich by the billions. Grady, he had a fortune of $8 billion. And he was living very high on that $8 billion. Airplanes, ships, all kinds of things. And in the middle of it, he stopped. And he says,
1 o'clock p.m., 82.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
this isn't what I want. I don't want this. And I'm making a vow right now to give away that $8 billion, and he did, Grady. He gave away $8 billion, and he did it anonymously. And on October 9th, at 90 years old, he and his wife were living in a very modest bedroom apartment in San Francisco. And he died. And that's his story. Now there's somebody who believed in I'd rather be poor than rich.
GZHM30BV. Number 3 of we have had. She went blind. This camera.
Oh, the camera went blind. Have you ever heard of a camera go blind on you? Folks, it can see only red. The whole screen turns red.
I don't think so. No.
We have a few cameras, don't we?
No, that's a JVC too.
That one's an Averio. The one in your hand says Averio on it.
This, batteries?
I think that's
That's
either
just
a battery.
yeah, it looks
or
like batteries
cord.
and a couple charging cables.
And that is a tape recorder.
Audio tape
Yep.
recorder?
Audio. Yep.
What kind?
Cassette.
It has a little YouTube sticker on the side of it. It says YouTube on it.
Thank you, Mimi. What's all this, folks?
Looks like it's extra cords.
Grady, straighten that out, would you?
Lovely time.
Meditating.
Meditating.
Yes. Pam's work, beautiful. Now, Grady.
Problem. Or like the voice
Does it
modulator.
come to a point at the top? No.
It's rounded at the top.
Well, I still want to examine it, okay?
Uh-huh. Left at 5.
A very satisfying worker. Oh yes, we're reading 1980. We're reading 1922 right now, March.
Well, it's actually 20.
I do go back and read them. Why? Would you like to read it? Last year, I read that Victoria came here on St. Patrick's Day, and she did a complete job on the electronics bench, the kind of thing that you're doing, but she did it on the window bench.
Okay.
She did that whole bench, the same thing that you're
Got it.
doing over there. Good meditation, and slept 9 to 6:30. And then go to the next day today. The first question was, who was the first president of the United States? She wrote George Washington and you wrote George Washington. The second question was, who was president of the United States during the Civil War? She wrote Abraham Lincoln and you wrote Abraham Lincoln. And the third question was, who was president during the Louisiana Purchase? She wrote, I don't know, and you wrote, me neither. This man was very close to dying. Everybody knew he had only a few hours left. But he was home. He was not in a nursing home. And his wife baked a batch of cookies. And he reached over and he took two. And she said, don't eat those, I need them for the funeral. High school.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He grew up in Terryville somewhat, but his daddy was an instructor at the Martha Berry schools in Georgia. I got to tell April that.
Yeah, April was